welcome to Kate's Ag. Today, I'm going to be doing a current equipment tour. So all of the equipment we use on the farm right now during harvest time and all throughout the year. Right here we have our tractor that we hook up to the grain cart. As you can tell, it is definitely not ever windy in Montana. We do not have 40-mile-an-hour winds to where I can barely stand up, and that is not happening.
No, it's just a mildly breezy day here, Kate. It blows like this all the time.
Yes, mildly breezy. We have a John Deere 9430, and it's our newest tractor on the farm.
Go this way.
It's crazy. Now we're going to do looking all around it, and then we'll go inside. Here we have the fuel tank. It's about full.
This is an articulating tractor. That means it bends in the middle to steer.
We use this tractor primarily for hauling the grain cart when we do harvest. This is the tractor you saw in all of the harvest videos. The added wheel weights give it better traction. It's a fabulous tractor and we love it.
Wheel weights again for the rear end.
We have the opposing fuel tank and the air cleaner.
We have a dirt separator at the top of the air cleaner. It helps keep the air cleaners clean. It's a lot cleaner than it would be with just a normal inlet. Works good.
Okay, now we are going to go over this little snowbank and around and go inside, do a little cab tour. And of course it's John Deere. We love John Deere. That's all we run primarily when we can. We are out of the wind. I've never driven grain cart before, so I don't really go inside this cab too often. We have our steering wheel.
We'll see if this thing will start up. It might. It's kind of warm today. It's just windy.
And it started! Here we have our screen in here.
This is our GPS screen here, Kate. And this is stuff to do with the motor, speed of the tractor. It's 900 RPM. We're in park. This thing here is an auto shift, which means you don't have to use the clutch, but it's got a clutch anyway. This here is to throw the PTO in, and this here is to hook up your auto steer. After you make the corner at the end of the field, when you get straightened out, you'll press this button, and the tractor will hook back up and do its own steering.
That is awesome.
The GPS is now starting to load. I don't know what it's going to show us because I don't run this very much, and so I don't know much about it.
And it has a second seat.
These are your hydraulic things here, Kate.
So this is a really great tractor and we love it. We use it every year, all the time at harvest, and it's so important to our operation. Oh yes, we have our radio up here. Such a key component to harvest.
This here is showing us right now, it's showing our implement in somewhere in the world, but we got guidance lines happening here because they were set from the last field. You know, and you can go into your screen. We'll see how many satellites we're tracking. All the green ones we are currently tracking at this time, 20. Here's a bunch of other stuff that nobody understands, except for some rocket scientists.
This shows what gear you're in and your engine temperature and your fuel level.
This is probably your temperature here, Kate. This is your oil pressure here. So we got plenty of oil pressure because the oil's cold.
Here I'm sitting in the driver's seat. You can see out the back window. Beautiful skies today. Montana skies are always so beautiful. Here we have our hazards, so if we're driving down the road, we have to turn these on. Here we have our wipers, which we don't really use that much. We have all of our lights and just a lot of cool features in this tractor. You really love it. Your grain cart would be driving by. They would be looking out this right side to see the combine to make sure that everything's going well while dumping it in the grain cart. Now we are going to stop at our grain cart, which would be hooked up to this tractor during harvest time. Into the grain cart we go, out in the very windy Montana weather. It's always breezy, but it's a little bit more than breezy today. Here we have a Kinsey 840 grain cart, and it can hold about 840 bushels, but if we really load it, which we do in the field to maximize it, with the 3 combines we have, it will hold about 1,000 bushels.
I'm staying out of the wind, Kate. That's what I'm doing.
Here is for your grain cart driver to see how full it is. But sometimes the the grain cart driver will ask the combine driver how full it is because they can't always tell. When you have a combine far away from the grain cart that can see what's in it, that's better. Here we have our lever to park the grain cart. Oh my gosh, that was a huge gust of wind. I'm gonna go under a wheel here. I'm gonna go under this wheel. Oh my goodness, it's a windy day. I apologize for any wind noise. That was the tarp to tarp the grain cart. In case we have any bad weather or anything coming in, we can put our tarp on it and it'll keep our wheat and our grain that we worked so hard to grow safe and dry. Now I'm going to be showing you the inside of the window. Hopefully I don't fall off because it's very windy. Here's our Frontline Ag Solutions cart. Here's the inside of the grain cart. Here we have a John Deere 7520 and right now it's broke down so we don't use it, but we would use it. So maybe that's on the
next plan.
Yes, next plan. Like my dad said, maybe that's a goal to get this running, and so comment down below if you want to see it running. This used to be the tractor we used to plow snow.
Just don't dry.
Oh my gosh, look at my dad trying to hold onto the door just to stay on. This is a true Montana video. Here's one of our older fuel pickups. It's a Chevy. We don't use it a lot, but we still use it sometimes. And in this particular one, the fuel tank is in the bed of the pickup. It's in this portion here. Now we're going to go look at these pickups over here. Here we have an old Chevy truck. I forgot to put this in the antique equipment tour. It's an awesome truck. We love it. We still sometimes use it, but we don't use it very often. It's really cool. Okay, now we're going to go inside. Let's hope there's no scary mice in this one. And it still runs. Back here we have our old spray truck, but now we use a John Deere sprayer. Here are our duck foots. We have 2 of them. These are 35-foot flex coil duck foots, and I'll show you them. They're pretty cool. These are the duck foot shovels.
It dries out the soil and it breaks up the stuff and makes the dirt looser so the wind can blow it away on days like this.
Yes.
That's why they like to do chem follow now, so it doesn't disturb the soil and it doesn't blow away. It'll stay where it is.
Right. For example, we used to have really bad dust bowl days, and that's why a program called CRP was invented, because your whole basically farm would blow away.
Every time you plow it, it loses some moisture in it.
Now we're going to drive over to the drills and I'll show you those. This is a 4350 flex coil air seeder. It is a pull between. There are 2 types of air seeders. There's one that's a pull behind and one that's a pull between. This one right here is a pull between, and that's because the implement is behind the cart. So the implement will dig up the ground and you won't have any crap where you've been seeding. Oh my gosh, we do have a flat tire. We put fertilizer and seed in this tank here. The back 2 tanks are usually set up for fertilizer and the front one's for seed. If you would have watched my seeding 2020 video, you would have seen us filling up our John Deere one, which I'll show you in a second, which is a pull behind. There's some of the equipment we just looked at, and here's some we're going to look at here soon. Now we're going to go look at our other seeder.
Yeah.
Here we have an old header trailer. We don't really use this anymore. It's an old one-way disc.
This worked good. They put the rocks in there to give it weight, to weigh it down so it'll go in the ground good. And it would pull up here, but it pulls off to one side. It worked really good.
Here we have an orange one. We have a yellow, a green and another yellow one. There's so much equipment on farms that make the operation work and keep it going. It's crazy to do an equipment tour because you don't even realize how much equipment you have to use to keep the farm going until you do a tour of it. Here we have an 1830 John Deere air seeder, and it's 61 feet. It's a pull behind. It's better for corners because you're able to see the edge of where you're seating at. Now, something we really love about these air seeders, how high the shanks go up. So when we're on the road, we don't have to worry about them dragging on anything. Here we have the packers, and they run behind each shank so that when the seed gets put in the ground, the soil gets packed back over it. It's actually kind of a little bit like when you put seeds in your garden. You put the soil back over and then it can retain moisture and the plant will grow better. This is a 1910 air cart. We fill the back 2 tanks with fertilizer just like the other one, and the front one with seed.
And all this
air cart has super big wheels also. This was the air seeder we were filling up in my seeding video. Here's an overview look at the seeder. Oh my gosh, what is this? This is a little caterpillar. I found a caterpillar. Aw, he's so cute. Do you see the caterpillar? Aw. Now on to the next piece of equipment. We have to climb up and over the snowbank to our long journey back to the car in the very windy weather. Here we have our Freightliner semi. This is what my dad uses to load his sprayer. And we have a 3,500 gallon tank in front of it, so this blue one, and a 1,200 in the back. We're going inside now, and you can see a little semi tour because I know how much you love the semi.
And I even put a backup camera on these, Kate.
Oh, really?
To look at the top of your trailer.
This is our steering wheel, and this is the back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like bunk beds.
It is. It's a bunk bed one.
Wow!
Just what everybody needs.
Yes, exactly.
The best part about this truck and all the other ones we have on the farm is this, Kate. It's an auto shift.
Oh, yes.
It'll do all the shifting, but this truck still has a clutch. So you have to let the clutch out to get the truck going, but once it's going, it'll do all the shifting for you.
So nice to get into a warm car after being outside in this very windy weather, right, Dad?
Yeah, it's pretty windy. These are some old pickup heads. Them too can get used on your combine, Kate, but not on any of the other ones.
Here we have our disc, and we use it to disc around the field, and also if we get stuck in the mud, we will come back later and disc it up. Kind of replaces the one-way disc. It's 32 feet, makes it much more portable when the wings fold up.
They're all about 70 feet long and 10 inches around. So they'll move a fair amount of grain.
Here's a red tractor. It's not ours, but we have one a lot like it that's getting worked on in town. Oh my gosh, all the birds are on the combine header. Do you see that? Second one in, all the birds right there. Well, what a wonderful day. We just saw lots of birds by the combines. Here we have my combine, which is the 9610. It's the one I run at harvest, and I love it. We have the pickup headers on, so they pick up the swathed wheat. This is a pretty old combine, but it works great, and it's John Deere. This is so fantastic. I have not climbed up this ladder since harvest time. It's a 9610 Maximizer. I got a couple of questions during harvest about that. This is such a phenomenal combine. Here's my dad. I'm waving. Goodbye until harvest.